All right, here we go. Welcome aboard. Just made a quick breakfast for myself, some eggs, and we're here to get to work. Yeah, good morning, Jacob. I did some rearranging underneath the desk. You ever do the thing where you're like, why didn't I do this before? Where you like move something and suddenly everything's way better. And you've had it that way for like years. And you're like, wait a minute, this is like way better. Yeah, so I did that with my computer. It was right underneath my, like, I couldn't stretch my feet out. I think that's why I was always leaning so far back anyways. I'm a dingus 99% of the time. Totally. By the way, I was going to ask you how your Steam stuff is going. Not that I'm segueing you being a dingus into Steam. Here's the other thing. I want to do a typing redeem. I got Typing of the Dead. So I thought that would be fun to do for typing redeems. I don't know if I still have the redeems up or not, but the next time I get a typing redeem, we can do Typing of the Dead. And then let me see here. I forget, did you put a demo up or just the page for your game? For Fabled Footy. Fabled Footsies. The spin-off game. No demo. At 41 listless. Dude, 41 is good. That's really good. For not having a demo? I mean, you're about to beat, you know who you're about to beat. Dude, I don't know. I don't want to jinx anything. Although, typically when I call the shot, it's usually right on this. Someone is, someone is LDG stream was talking about how they saw my game suggested by Steam. Oh, Little Doctors? That's cool. This is why I wanted to make a dev channel so that devs can basically, like, we can be like a hive mind and provide support and feedback, and like get our audiences on other dev stuff. The problem with a proposal like that is if somebody is making something that's a turd, it's hard to be like, hey, go check this out, guys. Let's support it. That's not what this is. But I have a good feeling, dude, because you're already, I mean, it took what? It took what, 3 years or something for Cakes to get like 100. It was something crazy like that. You haven't even promoted this thing at all as far as I've seen. And you're almost to 100. Yeah, dude, he was like, he's got that 3-hour video where he goes back and he's talking about the progress of making his game. I want to say it took him a couple of years to get to 700. Like, and initially he wasn't getting any, and he was streaming and he was on stream and he was like, wishlist my game, check it out. You know, that kind of thing. I will suggest strongly, and I'll find the video again, is to get yourself ready for playtesting and like really be serious about playtesting and come up with a strategy for that, for sure. Based on what I was looking at, I think it's great. I should have brought a fork. So you can kill units. I want to change the pace of the game. That'd be interesting to bring in other players, like you feint them Yeah. Yeah, if you rescope your thinking about the game and go jam mode on it, it might not be a bad thing. Yeah, if you kind of make it like XCOM, right? Have like kind of an XCOM system. I don't think I played on this one. Yeah, it's kind of a shame. I spent so much time learning in Fabled Footy. I've played it so many times. I just could have been well done by now if I knew what the fuck I was doing. Dude, that's the journey. I mean, that's the. Let me send you the cakes video, because that's essentially him watching his old stuff. He's like, I should have done, like, at a certain point very early on, he's like, I should have stuck with this and just done this. And it's really interesting in hindsight, the perspective that he has. Hell, even there's the video. It's quite long, so I've been watching it in spurts. But, you know, you look at like Wallaber, and the way I look at it with Wallaber is that, I mean, he's been doing it for years, since he was like young, right? For me, I really wanted to do game dev when I was a kid. I got a crappy old Apple II and taught myself to program. And then I started making, I was poor my whole life. And then I started making money. And it was just like, okay, I'm safe now, you know? And I just forgot. All that mattered was now I can pay for things and have things, and I feel safe again. And so the idea that I didn't have any confidence I could do it anyways. And I worked in environments where I was constantly getting kind of cheated by my superiors in some ways, where it was like I'd find out, you know, that they were telling the people higher up lies about certain things and stuff, and it was like, oh shit, or whatever. And I just was like, oh, that's right, I wanted to make games. And so I could equate this to like my Harley Davidson thing. But back to what I was saying about Oliver is like, so you get into the industry, now you're in accelerated mode where you're surrounded by the process. You're surrounded by you can absorb way more because you're in the shit. And so you're seeing it. And I think Wallaber had the perspective of like, he wanted to contribute a lot. I remember watching a podcast with him, and he wanted to contribute a lot more. And it was kind of like stay in your lane, especially in Japan. It sounded like, you know, you couldn't really shake the boat. Your job was X, Y, and Z. Like, don't go out, don't pivot too far out of that. And so, and you're dealing with like Disney and stuff, right? So you can't, it's like, this is what it's going to be kind of thing. So now he's got the freedom and the understanding to do what he wants to do, and he's just going. And so we're just coming from scratch, really. And we just kind of have to, it's like street fighting. You know what I mean? You just have to get the shit beat out of you over and over and over again. And then eventually you get calloused and like you're street smart enough to like go, okay, I'm not going to do that. Like last time I did that, I got socked in the gut or whatever, you know, like that kind of thing. But I feel you with the jam thing, and I think that's the poison pill that I keep swallowing, is the next idea. It's like proving, all it's doing is proving that you can do it, but you're still not doing it yet. It's the difference between shadow boxing and boxing, right? To go back to fighting. Like, you're not there yet. You're not actually doing it. You're not throwing a punch yet. You're not getting hit in the face yet, kind of thing. And like releasing a game is like getting into the ring and like getting punched and stuff. And same with playtesting and everything. I can't believe I started playtesting the tactics game and immediately withdrew. Like, what the fuck was I doing? You know, I should have pivoted hard back then. For sure. I actually worked at a game studio for a bit and actually turned me from games for a bit. But that's 15 plus years ago. They were doing pure contract work, not really doing games of their own. Yeah. Yeah, there's entire game studios that have like secret partnerships basically with like contractors. And surprising portions of games are like outsourced. It's interesting. Matt got me looking at, I think Burnout, the remaster of Burnout Paradise is super cheap on Steam right now. I picked up Panzer Dragoon, so we can check that one out. And I do feel like Panzer is probably closer to where I'm heading because I'm imagining the multi-missile thing from Robotech, where you have the missile trails and you're shooting off like 30 of them kind of thing. Like that's what I'm sort of imagining after the jam where I want to head. And that's more Panzer Dragoon, multi-lock kind of things, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah, ironically, the CEO was an EA exec and loved sports games. And I hated that all he wanted was sports. And then I go and make soccer tactics. So I picked up SimCity, Prince of Persia, and Panzer Dragoon, and then Typing of the Dead. So I'm a little afraid to be a coward playing this and like freaking out. But that'll be fun for everyone to watch, I suppose. And I'm just horrible at typing, so. Maybe I'll play it with my daughter. It does have multiplayer. Lots of screaming. Yes. Yes. Let me check the redeems. What do we have on the redeems? Pull the shout out. 10-minute Minecraft break. Typing test. Let's see. Can I quickly change the name to I never look at this stuff. Man, I haven't opened up analytics in a long time. I'm kind of afraid. Bits and cheering. No. What is it? Power up points. Here we go. Manage. Edit. Typing of the Dead session. Break. Okay, that's been updated. Okay, so where were we last night? We were looking at Oh yeah, I was really quick. I'm gonna check on Steam the price for Burnout because I feel like it was like $3. Yeah, $4 for Paradise Remastered. Legendary. I don't know if that's the one Matt worked on or not. Background image redeem. What do we got? Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. It's Doge. There we go. Lunesta, how's it going? We got these doges looking at us. All kinds of dojis all over the place. Look at him. Perfect. There's a Reddit. There's a whole like fake history of the Shiba Inu dogs on Reddit that I'm following the subreddit of. And they do all these little comic strips and stuff with them. It's really funny. Very weird, very esoteric, but I find it interesting. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so what we've got going on here is we can add a resource event and we can just put it wherever we want now. We can just scroll it along. Check this out. If I zoom out here, it'll go along the path anywhere we want to put it. Now we need to integrate this into the actual game code because this is only firing on the editor. So we need to instantiate this when we run the scene. I was thinking about starting to build out some legit moments in the game. I need a way to like pop out terrain or something to shape meshes, or like I know you do it in like you do it in Blender pretty easy, but Godot terrain. I wonder if there's like asset store terrain. CSG terrain. Be nice if it loaded the images. That'd be cool, huh? Terrain 3D. High performance editable terrain system. Holy mother of mayhem. GPU driven. Up to 32 textures. Up to 10 levels of detail. There's all kinds of stuff in this thing. Oh God, I just want to plop this in and suddenly I have a non-cyberpunk feeling thing. Okay, abort. We're staying away from that. Plop. Plop, plop, y'all. Plop, plop. Okay, so we're not going to do that. God, I have to do something quick too. Lord, heaven help me. Simplex terrain. What is this? This stuff reminds me of Star Trek. Is it Wrath of Khan, or is it what's the one where they had the planet builder, but they're going to use it as a weapon? Is that Wrath of Khan? Jesus, look at this thing. Procedural terrain generation add-on for Godot. Here's what we don't do. Spends 3 hours doing it. Lunesta's catching on. Lunesta's calling me out. Lunesta doesn't even do this stuff and is starting to notice some patterns. Well, what I'm trying to do quickly is I want to make like tunnels and like stuff we fly through, right? So the problem is if I build a mesh if I just create a mesh, right? So if I go to mesh instance and I'm just like, oh, I'll make a sphere mesh. Well, cool. That's neat. Now, how do I make a hole in it, right? So now we're going into like, do I build a bunch of meshes to make a place that we're traveling through, or do I do the sphere thing or some sort of like entry point thing, and then I just do a CSG and I subtract and I make like some place that we're traveling through that way. So I guess what we'll do is we'll make a new scene and I'll just try and model something with it. The problem I'm going to have is texturing and all this other stuff. I don't have any of that. So maybe I can find like a good material. Chrome is the future, right? So we should find a good chrome material. We know that from SpongeBob, right? Chrome is the Chrome means it's the future. So CSG combiner. So if we start with a CSG combiner and then we add a CSG like, so we can do a mesh 3D. Can I just pick the mesh? I can make a mesh. So if I did like, so there's specific kinds of things, but CSG mesh gets us everything else. So why didn't I do that? And then we'll make a box mesh, right? And then we duplicate this, and then we turn this one into a cylinder, right? And then we shrink this down, just to give an example. Okay. And then we make this one subtract. So operation is subtraction. And now we have a hole, right? So that maybe that's how we do the start of a tunnel system. Little bit of a Sarfox reference. So if we do that, we say we rotate it like this. That's our forward direction. How big is our ship? Let's bring the ship in so we know exactly what we're looking at. Now, can I see this? Okay, so there's our ship. So this has got to be pretty damn big. Pretty big. So let's say it's 10 by 10. Okay, pull the ship out. Do you remember the 21st night of September? Do you remember a Taco Bell we pooped out? 10. Subtract. Subtraction. So we have this big building thing that we're going to go into. Why can't I flare? I don't know what we're talking about. So then we need the transform of our hole. Do you remember? Taco Bell's real yummy Simba. What? Times 5. Times 5. I started watching Roof Man last night. Have you guys heard of that? It's interesting. It's been real interesting so far. You guys heard about this? You heard about this? Roof Man? You guys heard about this? Let's make this double. Do you remember? No, does he live on the roof? It's supposedly based on a true story. It stars Channing Tatum as a former military guy who's struggling to make a living. And he is really good at like observing things. And his friend is pointing this out. That's your superpower. You need to use that to like find work. And he goes to McDonald's one day and he realizes that they always pick up their money on the exact same day in every McDonald's in the entire country. And he starts breaking into them at night through the roof. and then he waits for the employees to come in the morning. He points the gun at them, and he tells them to go into the freezer. He steals the money, and then he calls the cops so that they can get out of the freezer. And that's like the beginning of the whole thing, and it just kind of goes from there. I won't say anything else if that sounds interesting. Suffice to say, like, maybe he gets caught, maybe, who knows, right? So, but it's been interesting so far. Has a very accurate representation of church people. Yeah, Peter Dinklage is in it, and he plays like an asshole boss man, a boss hole. Do you remember? This guy's a total boss hole. So we're inside the hole. Got to bounce early today. Good luck. Thanks for the stream, y'all. Yeah, Jacob, have a good one. Bump, 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 bump. Do 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 bump 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 bump. Do 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 do. Do 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 bump 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 bump. Do 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 do. Guys, remember Star Fox music? Bump bump bottom. The first Star Fox has better music than the second one. I'm sorry. Star Fox 64's music is not as good as the first the OG Super Nintendo. Sega Genesis. Not nearly as good. Oh my, that does not look like the kind of circle we want. Do you remember? Although it's kind of chunky. I kind of like the chunkiness. So we're going to have this do a subtraction. Here's what I'm going to try to do. I'm trying to build a curve going down. My kids are cracking themselves up. Do you remember? There we go. So if we go like this, you can, we duplicate, and then we go like this. Oh, what happened? 90 degrees, baby. Then we go down. Do you remember? There we go. So now we have a curve. Look at this. So we're cutting in. And does it look like a curve? Not quite yet. We're going to duplicate this. Duplicate. Okay. We're going to go like that. So now we should have a hole that goes down. Yes, it does. The sphere needs more segments and more rings. And there we go. So now we have something that looks like a curve. And then we're going down. So we could have the camera fly through here and then oh, right. The cool thing about something like this is if the player remembers that they're going down when they blow stuff up, it's just going to fall. Gravity's going to take it because we turn off its like engine, so to speak, in the game code, and it just sort of falls. So it's just going to fall downwards. So that's kind of cool. Or we point them up, right? And then obstacles in the tunnel. Yeah. Second, how's it going? Do you remember the obstacles in our tunnel? Duplicate. Oh, second, I got something we can play together on Steam, and I got to redeem on it. Oh, by the way, Burnout Paradise is only $4. I was thinking about getting it but But I don't know. Is that the one that Matt worked on? Matty D? Library. Here's what we got, though. Typing of the Dead. I saw that you had this. So maybe sometime we could play together because it's multiplayer. It is good. I'm assembling my Batman print. It didn't turn out great, but not terrible. Learned some good lessons. What was like the main thing you learned? Not to like shake the thing the whole time while it's printing. Oh yeah, I have it. Never played it, but I have it. Nice. I changed the typing redeem to be this. So, nah, I made my supports too dense. Oh. Maybe, so you're used to like the other kind of printing and maybe you didn't need as many. Or are they too thick? It's thick. Ba-da-ba-ba. Do you remember? So we go down. And then do. We need like a cool texture. We technically have we have this what is the ground mesh? We have this material here. We can copy this. And can we just throw it on here? So it'd be nice if it showed what's subtracting and what's not. But if we just do it to these guys, paste. Now we have, oh, and we do need it on the subtraction stuff. Because that paints the material on the subtracted space. Here we go. So now we go in. I don't know why it's got those big lines. It's lining up, but then it's got this like weird thing going on. Leaving a few spots of missing texture. Too thick. Some of them end up being fused together and becoming super supports. And I have to Dremel them off. Oh my God. Wow. Okay. Well, live and learn and then get loves. Hopefully it wasn't like a super expensive print job, right? Bum, 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 bum. So, should we find out what this looks like? So we have CSG Combiner. Can I just save this? Auto Smooth, and I'm not sure what that is. Operation Union. Calculate tangents, use collision. Oh yeah, we'll do that. Okay. Now I guess I have to do the saving of this in the code. So we're gonna write. I'm making a quick blender. We're gonna write a quick piece of code here so we can have a button to save the mesh here. And now we've recreated a kind of blender. Anything to not learn Blender, Cricket. You're such an idiot. Man, I was watching, let me do a shout out. I was watching Arya last night, and she's just chatting away. I was talking to her on the stream and everything. We're just talking and she's just blah, 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 blah in Blender. And then in like 30 minutes, she's got like this like really cool ray gun thing and stuff. And I'm just like, I hate your guts. I don't know why. You know what it was? It was when I learned, I don't know if it was Paint Shop. It wasn't Paint Shop. That's the old Apple program. It was when I first learned Photoshop. And like it was like very early. It had to be like one of the first Photoshops because it was on Mac. This was like the guy who created Photoshop. Photoshop was created after Jurassic Park. One of the guys who did the effects on Jurassic Park created Photoshop. So let me look at the dates here because I remember in middle school I was using it. Jurassic Park came out in 93. Yeah, so I was I was still in middle school. Yeah, this is exactly okay. So my timeline is right. This was the first Photoshop. I remember I was like, all I could do was like, I could make a circle and stuff, and so I was like making an 8-ball, and I didn't know anything about the drug references, and people were like really happy that I made an 8-ball and like wanted to print it out and stuff. But I made this like really convincing 8-ball by just using like circles and gradients and stuff. But really, I think Blender is mostly muscle memory and knowing what not to do. I think that's the trick to it from what I've seen. I got to go back and continue my journey, Greg. Because I'm going to get to a point here where I need to be able to produce. And as much as I can say, hey, make me these things, that'll still happen. But there's going to be a lot of like, okay, I need this little thing. I need this little thing. Mesh editor. Do you remember? How many tacos? December, September, nachos and burritos, tacoritos. Is that a thing? CSG combiner. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Taco Bell is the first postmodern fast food restaurant. Inherent CSG shape. For complex arrangements of shapes, sometimes you need to add a structure to your CSG nodes. Allows you to create structure, the node encapsulates. Shape. CSG shape, geometry instance. How do I bake what I got? Auto smooth. This is all this stuff. Bake static mesh. It gives us back an array mesh. Returns a baked static array mesh for this node CSG operation result. Materials from the involved CSG nodes are added as extra mesh surfaces. Returns an empty mesh if the node is not a CSG root or has no valid geometry. Jamply. Cricket, you can do it. I still don't know what you're doing, but I believe in you. Jamply, have you seen what I'm working on? Hang on. Hang on, Mr. Jamps. Jamps tax. Mesh editor. So here's what I got so far. Do I have a working controller? Hang on. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Do you remember? It doesn't like the... Hold on, I gotta plug in the controller. Give me a second. Okay. Every night for a week and you'll be golden. So we can shoot guys. They fly to the ground when we shoot them. They crash. And then we've got scripted stuff here, but so there we go. We got guys flying by, so we can script events in the system. We have the comms system too, although I don't have any examples of that right now because I need to add another one into it. Oh, there it is. Oh Lord, there's poop everywhere. So we have that going. We have I think ultimately this game is going to follow more in line with Panzer Dragoon than your Star Fox. So imagine Panzer Dragoon, but you're a mech. Maybe you have Star Fox stages when you're in jet mode. Then you have like a mech mode, and that one's more like your Panzer. Like when the enemies fall. Yeah. So that's going to be based on your accuracy. If you hit a center shot, depending on the type of enemy, that might be an instant explosion. But if you nick them, and you do enough damage on them, then they'll spin out, and they can hit each other, so they can blow up each other. Like theoretically, if I line them up right, you could hit one and it could hit another one. So that would be cool to see. So we'll have to set up events or set up situations where that's likely to happen. We have this cool little editor too. So in our game, we have a rail system. So we have our rail, and then we have the different like comms events here. And you can change where they occur just by sliding their point along. And then you can, you have the different enemies spawning and stuff. So that's going to be these little events, and that you'll be able to slide along. Although resource event might actually just become, it's a comm event or it's an enemy event or whatever. For now, we're just going to use pack scenes for these events. But when we're actually designing the game, we'll be able to say it's 3 enemies. 2 of them are going to come in from the right, and they're going to do this thing, that kind of stuff. So eventually it'll be like that, but not for the jam. So we have a bake static mesh. That gets us an array. Export tool button. So now we need to be a tool. Pays to be a tool. For some reason, I had a dream about Greg's work. I don't even work with Greg. The fuck was that about? That was weird. Medusa, how you doing? Nathir, what's up? Sorry, I was holding 2 pieces together that I super glued. Yes, I think you're completely able to learn enough learner to get you by. Yeah. Damn, that's a great idea. It's a cool, amazing idea. Would add a lot to the game. Is that accuracy and enemies colliding thing from Star Fox or Dragon, or is it original? I haven't seen it in the games. It just seems like a thing that would be cool to do. So I don't recall ever seeing it. So right now, the way that they spin is it's based off of where they get hit from the laser. And then we apply a rotation and a force on it. So they get hit and they start like kind of spinning out. So that's how it works. It's original. So you're a genius. I just think it would see, I think it would be cool. Save mesh. No icon. Although, where does it grab the icon from? Fetch an icon from the button via control get theme icon from the editor icon's theme type. Wow, that's very specific. Var save mesh button equals, and then we have our save mesh, and then we create a save mesh function, and this needs to pop up a prompt. So print debug save mesh, and let's just see that it works. So if we go back to our mesh editor, save mesh, property of save mesh button is nil, but a callable is expected. It is a callable. What are you talking about? Mesh editor. There we go. Okay. Just needed a reload. What about you, Jampley? How's your stuff coming along? What do you have this nose wiping thing that I do? I had this time in my game where every enemy can break and be pushed when getting enough damage. Then I realized I had to draw every enemy twice. Painful to implement, but it's cool. That's neat. I don't know if you know Melaneth or see them around often, but I just saw them under my recommended playing Star Trek 64. Turns out it's some other person. Malen. Huh? The OG 64? There's recompiles of Nintendo 64 games that make them so much better for modern platforms to play on. 16:9 support and just all kinds of stuff. Okay, guys, I don't know why I'm being recommended this clip, but I have to put this on because it just showed up in my YouTube and I don't know what the hell this is. And I can't not figure it out. I have to watch this. It's 3 minutes. Please forgive me.
Hey, any of you cats mind the groove? You got it.
Cut to an alien. He's so pissed. It's like they're having fun. Weird, mysterious guy.
Taking our own sweet time. Nothing comes easy. Nothing better to do. Baby, just me and you. Taking our own sweet time.
What the hell?
People forget that they're young. Everything's so bad. Cause they don't know where it's at. We got the secret of life in the palm of our hands. We don't bury our heads in the sand. And we don't make any plans. Taking our own sweet.
Look at this, guys. Look at the turtleneck. That vest? I know.
And take a look around. Taking our own sweet.
Oh, she's.
Nothing better to do.
Uh-oh.
Baby, just me and you. Taking our own sweet time. Hey!
What's Pharrell Williams doing there? This is in the 70s. I didn't know he was that old.
When you can relax in your bed. Watching go by the clock each and every day. Just let your heart lead the way. And think of the games we gon' play. Taking our own sweet time.
This is just the weirdest thing. Like, it's a weird time capsule.
And take a look around.
So does he have like an alien synth? Is that what's going on?
Our own sweet time. Sweet time comes easy. Nothing better to do. Baby, just
I know. Nothing else with the alien. It just showed the alien for like 5 seconds. I I feel like we might have a new raid clip. No, hold on. No, I don't need to see a goddamn ad.
Hey,
Thank you.
cats mind the groove? You got it.
If we could get rated by somebody and this plays and it says you're being rated by so-and-so, and then at this part, it shows a clip, it grabs a clip from them, right here, and puts it on here, and shows the clip, and then we just randomly show this pissed off alien. And that's the raid notification. I think that'd be great. I just don't know how to, I wouldn't know how to execute on it. But that'd be pretty funny. I don't know. Why is this guy, man, he's, okay, so act nothing. Could you act nothing? Oh yeah, I can do that. Anyways. Could you act nothing? Sorry, probably. Act nothing. You got it, boss. So we need to show a window. Window. And we have our local Google. We have our local Godot docs. Base class for all windows. And there's a pop-up function in this. I remember not liking Godot windows whatsoever. That they are terrible. It's a file dialog. That's what we want. Choose file or something. File dialog. Is that what it's called? File dialog. There we go. So we have a file dialog. We pop this sumbitch up. We're good to go. So let's go ahead and say func. We're going to have a var file underscore file dialog. Now, is this a... Because there was also something else that was weird about this, if I recall, where you don't put it on the scene tree or something. Is invisible by default. To make it visible, you call one of the pop-up methods. Okay. So file dialog equals, and actually we can do the new here. File dialog noir. And then we add it to the scene here with child, add child, file dialog noir. Just that alien just chilling out. I'm here. I'm here. I'll be right back. David Huffman, how's it going? All right. So we had the file dialog here, and then we're going to do a file dialog pop-up on our save mesh. Pop-up window. Did we just say true? Was it that simple? Close and reopen because it has to create it. No errors. Save mesh. Nothing happened. Pop-up. File dialog is invisible by default. To make it visible, call one of the pop-up star methods from window. So pop-up centered. How about we do that? There we go. Bloop, nothing happens. Close, reopen. Bloop, nothing happens. Pop-up center does not return anything. Min size, I don't know. Let's say it's a vector 2. 100 by 100. We'll do that. Save mesh. Nothing. If added child file dialog, we'll do print debug file dialog. And then we'll do it again here. There is a file dialog. So now the question becomes, is this some bullshit about let's see if it's the same one when I hit the button. Save mesh is returning same one as when we started. Let's clear it out. Close and reopen. File dialog. Save mesh. Same one. Okay, so it's the same one. Add child file dialog owner equals editor. We got to get the editor, right? Engine. What would it be? Godot. Set owner to editor. Edited scene root. There we go. So we go like this. Done. Close and reopen. Now we see it here. Nothing. Now I know we did this in tree game. Let us check out tree game. And this would be in, I don't know, in Vim. It's in the editor. Tree editor. Tree editor. Do 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 do. Ooh, tree editor. Wow 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 wow. Add filter. Do 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 do. Double double do. Do do. Double double do. Do do. Ooh. So it's a static var file dialog. Is editor hint. File dialog new. So that's one thing we're doing differently here. File dialog equals new file dialog. Why not? Sure, fine. And then we set a root subfolder, add some filters. We confirm some stuff. So why does this work for us here. File dialog new. Ooh. Ooh, we're adding it to the editor interface. That's the key difference. Ooh. Branch dialog. File dialog. So the branch dialog new. File selected, blah, 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 blah. File confirmed. Confirmed. Editor interface, branch dialog. This is the key. This is the key. File dialog. We don't need this. We don't need this. That's the ticket right there, baby. Close. Reopen. Get rid of this some bitch. Delete. Go up here. Save. There we go. Okay. Now I have that song stuck in my head. Oh, I was watching a YouTube video the other day that didn't feel like it was completely full of bullshit about game dev from the indie standpoint. Let me track that down.
Survival curve.
He was coming at it from a statistical standpoint. Let me get the old video going. There's a bit of nudity in it though. Like a lot of graphic nudity. It was just bold choice on the part of the guy making the video. Don't understand his thinking. Wasn't really necessary, but I mean, whatever gets the clicks, right? Whatever gets the clicks. Bold use of nudity. I'm of course exaggerating. No nudity is good nudity. Full screen. Rewinds.
5% of games on Steam account for nearly 90% of the sales.
90.
All sales.
I have.
If you're an indie developer, when you hear a number like that, it's like a punch in the gut. Here's the thing. I'm a data scientist, and when I hear a number like that, I don't want to fall into a pit of despair. I think, what are the mechanisms driving that number?
And how can I get
what
Deborah to
can we
make
actually do about it? If we want to be indie developers, if we want to succeed in this market, what are the practical takeaways? In this video, we're going to talk about how, with the right framing, we can take something that looks like an impossible market to compete in and turn it into something that we can see actually as an opportunity. I looked at 62,466 developers who released at least one game on Steam. When you plot their sales, you get this shape. A few games that soak up most of the sales. And then, well, then there's everyone else, just getting by. This isn't unique to games. Vilfredo Pareto noticed the same shape in 1896 when he looked at land ownership in Italy. 20% of people owned 80% of the land. He and many others have studied this pattern and found it absolutely everywhere. Crops, clients, scientific citations, venture capital returns, you name it, there is a Pareto distribution. A writer called Nassim Taleb, a former options trader who writes about risk and uncertainty, he calls this kind of world Extremistan, a place where a small number of huge outliers dominate everything. And the games industry is very much Extremistan. At this point, you're probably thinking, great Ross, I'll just go back to lying in the fetal position. Don't do that. Because if we understand the mechanisms behind this type of economy called power law economics, then we can position ourselves in a way that we don't just survive, but we thrive in this kind of market.
I don't want to survive! I want to live!
This is massively oversimplifying things, and I am not an economist, but roughly speaking, there's 3 really strong mechanisms that drive a winner-takes-all market. And all 3 of them, point towards the same strategy for success. The first is compounding advantage. To those that have, more will be given. And simply shipping a game is a huge win and a barrier most people rarely get over. Every game you ship leaves you better off than before. You've got code to reuse, a mailing list, a community, hard-won knowledge about what players actually want. Your next game starts from a higher base. The longer you stay in, the bigger that advantage gets. The second is scale. Say you're a doctor, a lawyer, a plumber, a dentist. There are only so many teeth you could fill in a day. Your upside is capped by time. Digital goods don't work like that. Selling your 10,000th copy costs essentially nothing. The upside is genuinely unlimited. That is why winners in this space grow exponentially. And the third is rare events. Most of what shapes your career, in games, in life, comes down to a handful of moments you couldn't have predicted. A game that blows up, a streamer who picks you up, a community that forms around something you've made. Those moments are rare, but they're real. And the only way to be there when one happens is to still be making games when it does. All 3 of these things have the same implication. The strategy is to stay in the game.
Stay hard!
And here's something that absolutely blew my mind when I first saw it. Of those 62,000 developers that we analysed in this data set, only 1 in 5 went on to make another game.
So this was really encouraging me. This is when I stopped the video and I was like, I'm going to watch this later. If you think about that, and he's only going off of like publisher, he's using the Steam information, but still, if there's the stat that everyone puts out is that there's like, 60,000 new Steam games a year or something now, right? And it's like, oh my God, that's insane. How can you compete about that? But then you see something like that, 1 in 5. So then you say, okay, so 1 in 5 of 60,000 are ever going to release another game. Those are the people I'm competing against, right? And so the number gets like way smaller if you say, I'm going to do this again and again and again until I get it right. It's interesting.
Just think about that for a second. The next time you see that disheartening tweet or that LinkedIn post or that YouTube video that says that Steam is being flooded with games, that is oversaturated, only 1 in 5 of those developers will go on to make another game. That means that they are not genuine competition, it's just noise. Let's try and visualize survival on Steam. This right here is what we call a survival curve. I used to make these to help doctors and scientists understand how long patients survive after some event occurs. Here I'm applying the same logic, but survival is instead, did the developer stick around and publish another game on Steam? On the x-axis, we see the progression of time, and up here on the y-axis is the likelihood that they will quit. See how for those developers making a second game, there is a 60% chance that they will not make another one. Compare that now to those developers that have made 2 games and they're making their third, or they've made their 3rd game and now they're now making their 4th. We go from a 60% chance to more like 20 to 30% chance of not making another game. The point here is, the hazard of quitting is high early on, but the longer you stick to it, the lower your chance of bailing out. And here's where it connects to the actual commercial success. If we say a hit is selling like 25,000 copies, which for a mid-price game is roughly $250,000 in revenue, then on our first game, you've got about a 1 in 10 shot of hitting that goal. But by your 5th game, it's closer to a coin toss. I know. Before I get hated,
Go back again.
25. And here's where it connects to the actual commercial success. If we say a hit is selling like 25,000 copies, which for a mid-price game is roughly $250,000 in revenue, then on our first game, you've got about 1 in 10 shot of hitting that goal. But by your 5th game, it's closer to a coin toss. I know.
Think about that. Jesus. That's interesting. Minnie, how's it going?
Before I get hate in the comments, whenever I bring up something like this, someone mentions, rightfully so, that I'm getting confused by survival bias. And I want to say, yes, you're completely right, because that is the point. If you ask someone brand new to game dev, what...
Right. He's right. Because people will use survival bias as like, you're only looking at the people who survived. And it's like, yeah, that's, yeah, that's exactly right. That's what you want to look at. Why did they survive? Right? Anyways.
What are the odds you'll ship 5 games and by the time you get there, at least one of them will hit 25,000?
But the thing is like, oh, but you don't look at like the ones, what took down the other ones. And it's like, I totally get that. But the point here is that they kept releasing.
And sales, the honest answer is less than 15%. It's low. The deck is stacked early. But the developers who make it to Game 5, they've earned it. They've learned, they've grown, they've built an audience, they've figured out what actually works. There's no magic when you get to that 5th release. You are the magic.
You want to see a miracle, son? Be the miracle.
Survivorship bias isn't a bug in the data, it's the whole point of it. The goal is to be one of the survivors. Because if you can be one of the survivors, you unlock that upside. If staying in the game is the goal, how exactly do we do it? One idea that I keep coming back to is something Nassim Taleb introduces in his books, which is this idea of the barbell strategy. Picture a dumbbell. One side is heavily weighted with safe bets, and then the other side is weighted with a few moonshots. They're risky, but if just one of them pays off, it's worth the risk. One side is safe bets that keep the lights on, and then the other side is your big swings. These are projects with massive uncapped potential where you only need one of them to pay off. Then in the middle, the messy middle, this is the bit to avoid. This is where you have medium risk but mediocre reward. That's where people, I think, they get stuck. Now I need to be clear, this is our interpretation of the barbell strategy. So for context, we have a game-orientated business, we have Game Oracle, our market research platform, we have consultancy services, but we're also trying to build an indie game studio.
Survival bias isn't reflected in the same in every field. Right. Yeah. It's also like the whole thing is that you're applying what you should do incorrectly because you see what other people did. Like, you know, you look at the plane and you go, oh, we need to shield these parts because the ones that made it all still had those parts. And it's like, no. Like, it's the parts that, like, you know, are the ones that, like, and it's just like you're yeah, it's like inverting it. I'm totally botching that. But yeah, like, you know, the plane comes back and you look at it and you go, okay, the the ones that made it have all these holes here, so we should get like shield those up. And it's like, no, it's actually where they weren't hit. It's the inverse, right? You want to invert it and go, that's where we should be focusing on armoring. But in the case of something like this, it's for sure like, no, you want to look at the ones that made it and then go, okay, what are they doing? And then you go, okay, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to look at it from an inverted perspective and say, okay, there's a reason why these guys are making it, because they're doing these things. And so I should probably do that as well. I think in the case of something like this, it might be the right move. But just releasing a second one, I think that has a lot to do with Els. How's it going? I think that has a lot to do with like just sticking through and like learning from your mistakes and pushing. And there, so many people get defeated by the first release that they don't do the second. And so just naturally the people that a good example of survivor bias that exists, that happened is the college statistics that got pushed real hard in the 90s about like, if you go to college, you're going to get this much more pay and everything. And then a bunch of people thought, all I have to do is go to college. But that was before federal student loans and everything. And the people that went really wanted to go. Right. But then it's like, well, what if we just gave a bunch of money to people and everyone could go to college? But then it's like, well, now we saddled them with debt, and a bunch of people who really wouldn't have gone anyways went. And so now the stats are probably all messed up, because now it's all been influenced by all these other factors. But that's an example of survival bias, is just looking at the statistics of, if you go to college, you're going to make X amount of pay, and then throwing a bunch of people in college that aren't under the same conditions as those that did that made that stat be true. I hope I'm making sense. Anyways, how you doing, Els? Els, check it out. Let me show you what I've got going on here. I'm going to throw this off to the side real quick, and we'll show the game so far. We can hit the ships. They fall on the ground. Oops. We're getting shot up. Anyways, got a lot of stuff going on here. I'm trying to get a bunch of things going. But yeah, the cool thing is that you can hit the you can knock the ships down when you hit them. Got to get that sound is way too loud. I'm thirsting for a little more banking as the ship turns left and right, though. Yeah. I'm not going to work on any of that, though, right now. Not for the jam. But yeah, I know what you mean. Right now, it's facing the exact direction it needs to be facing for the lasers to fire to make sense. But I just played a game that had banking in it, and it totally changes your connection to the ship, and it felt like I wasn't controlling the ship anymore. So I don't know how much I would do if I was to do it at all. But also, I'm not going to be doing, for when I start working on this out of the jam, I'm not going to be doing a ship anyways. Or maybe I will, but I don't know. I have some ideas. I'm working on a tool for quickly making little parts of the level, like a barrel roll style rotation. Well, those are the ones you control, right? So that makes more sense to me. When the game that I played that was doing it automatically, it just felt weird. And it does make things like dodging harder because the ship is acting on its own volition. You're not controlling it, so it removes some control from the player. So although it might look cool, it might be the wrong move from a control perspective, if that makes sense. But we played a bunch of played a bunch of Star Fox like games. Let me go over to, how can I look at what I played recently? Here we go. I just got Panzer Dragoon. It's like $2 right now. Panzer Dragoon remake is $2. I actually don't know if it's any good. But we played Wild Blue Skies. These are from the Argonauts, some of the former Argonauts guys that did Star Fox. Do a barrel roll. We did Fur Squadron Phoenix. This is the one that did the default, the automatic rotation thing. And then we did EX Zodiac, which is on sale right now as well. This was the best one that I played out of the 3. And funnily enough, it's very Star Fox. But yeah, they've got a little bit of rotation. I think that's fair. The other game had like way too much. Like the other game, the whole ship, if I was to take Darth Vader's TIE Fighter here, the whole ship was going like this and like that when it was turning. And it was like, it just was like way too much. And then surprisingly, this one's performance was really bad. And I think we were just stuck in shader compilation. So, whoops, I don't want to play. I don't want to play. I don't want to play.
Grimclaw's forces have reached our shores.
Leave it up to us, General.
So this one was all right.
Invasion stops here.
I actually found this little trail thing to be really distracting. Oh, no, no, no. I appreciate the input. No, I definitely appreciate the input. The other reason why I'm not implementing it is because it's like a mind F to work on right now. And I don't want to
All bombers are go.
I don't want to fall down that hole.
I've got eyes on your back.
Toki's on my tail. Get him off.
But all these games are like
Thanks for the assist.
so reliant on,
Looks like we made it through.
Can you keep
you know,
up?
if you blur your eyes, it might be Star Fox kind of thing. But I'm thinking we do Panzer Dragoon style, a lot of more Panzer Dragoon, where we do multi-lock. I love the idea of Robotech, Macross. You have a transforming ship thing where if you're in a fighter mode, it's rails. You can flip, you know, depending on if it's a scripted event or whatever, then you flip to like a mech mode. And now you have your multi-missile lock-on system where you're just shooting smoke-trailed missiles out, just you know, going crazy. And then combining all of that with your shmups style upgrade systems where you get like crazy add-ons and enhancements and stuff that you don't really see in these games typically. I feel like I've played games that have an action to bank yourself. Maybe not. Yeah. That's typical of these ones. Is your spec still not baked really then for the shooting? No, I don't have anything fixed on it, but for the gem I do, but not later after I do. Once I'm out of the jam, we're gonna go blue ocean it and kind of try a bunch of things. And but I'll look at the jam as kind of like a little play test, I guess. But there's a lot of little things that I need to fix. Like for instance, like right now you can kind of go into the world, even though you get hit. You can go into the mesh in the worlds. We don't want that. We can't hit those enemies, so we got to fix that. So any of the scripted enemies we can't hit yet. But yeah, I'm working on a tunnel. I want us to be able to fly through a tunnel. This is typical of these games. And go to like some sort of underground thing. So this is going to be a scripted. I have to enable it so we can script the rail event and free roam the camera. We can do all this. It's going to be really cool. And then once we get down to the next level, then it's like, okay, now you're underground and now there's all this other stuff going on, right? So it's really prototypey. This whole game, it's a game jam, right? So Anyways, I'm gonna keep watching this video.
Bootstrapping, we don't have external.
But yeah, I would rather you be pointing things out now than finding out later that it's like, oh shit, you're right, and that totally changes this and that and the other thing. I feel I've played games that have an action to bank. Yeah, Nier Automata is like that. Automata. Was playing that recently. First shmup I've played in years. Was curious about your comment of the Game Jam version not having a ship. Oh no, it's only going to be a ship. That's what I mean. What I like is Macross as and maybe like if I did multiplayer Voltron, right? Imagine a multiplayer shmup, rail shmup, where maybe each player's on their own rail and then you combine together into a mega ship thing for bosses. But that was Greg and I talking the other night. But the Macross stuff, what I like, Macross has 3 forms, right? You have the jet, the robot, and then like the jet with the legs. This one here. But if we were just jet to robot, we could totally change the playstyle, and robot could be more free roaming. What the thing that Mud was talking about is the idea of like changing modes manually. I don't know about that, but a walking mech would be a lot of work that I've never done before. And so that would be a big ask from me. This would be a flying mech. There's an old NES game called King's Knight or something from Square, which is a shooter that looks like Dragon Warrior. You play 4 levels, each with a different class, whether you finish it or not. Then the 5th level, if you finish at least one of the first 4 levels, is all surviving party members in a row. You can change the order. Really? I also was thinking about that there could be a side thing in the game that is a rogue. It has like roguelike elements to it. There's the primary mission objectives, and then there's like roguelike things that you can kind of go off and do. But King's Knight, kind of an unfortunate name. Oh, apparently they remade it for a mobile game with a Final Fantasy whatever tie-in. That's funny. It's got the cool anime look. Yeah. Save some money. I gotta pee. I gotta pee. He's doing the pee-pee dance. I can't hold it. I can't hold it. I gotta pee. I gotta pee. No, no. Yeah, Wixer got a new redeem. Super hard. This is just like sprite it feels like they just did they're like, okay, we got all these sprites. What could we do with them? That's pretty cool that you can destroy the stage. Yeah, you can box enemies in. That's an interesting that's interesting. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, you're saying. It's weird because this idea is like, okay, you're almost to a complete, like this is the beginning of a game. This idea. The real dangers of this is you get locked into one type that you really like. Oh, it looks like it almost becomes like a puzzle game. Whoa, you turn into a dragon. I bet the Japanese version is easier. It's so funny that the Japanese had this, like, gave the Americans a reputation of being not as good gamers, essentially. But they would always ramp up the difficulty of their games when they brought them to the States because we had a rental market. So it's kind of funny that, like, even Japanese Resident Evil, I think, is easier than the US version for that reason, for example. But a lot of the Japanese games tended to be like, these games were easier in the Japanese release than the ones brought to the States. So I wonder if the Japanese version is not as difficult. Back to
Minimal
this.
investment, but even if we did, we would still look at how we could have a good balance of safe bets and moonshots. Safe bets are simple things where the risk of financial ruin is low or even close to zero. But importantly, the risk of losing all your time to something external to your dream is also low. Some of you might be shocked that I've put full-time labour as part of that messy middle, and I know for a lot of us it isn't an option. But if we do it for a lifetime, it has a capped upside. We don't own our outputs. I've put that in the messy middle because selling your hours can be the trap that means you never get round to actually taking a swing at one of those moonshots. Other messy middle things are unvalidated ideas, overbuilt infrastructure and feature creep. Things with high risk and low payoff. The moonshots are the fun bit. This is where you get to roll the
There's this frustration I had with this game. Like, when you play a shooter, you don't get your best run going. You can feel like you want to hit reset and just restart the level. That effect is super bad in this game because, like, making it to the party phase with a missing character is totally pointless. I don't want to give away my hand too much, Els, but I was thinking about when I'm playtesting the game, this game, I need to be able to rewind and go back and reset things and adjust ship positions and paths and blocking elements and stuff like that. And then I started thinking about it, and it's like, if I'm going to make that in the editor, I started to think about, what if that was a mechanic in the game where you could kind of rewind a little bit so that, like, you, like Forza, right? The Forza rewind feature, but in a shooter, in a rail shooter, that would be kind of useful where you're like, I messed up. I'll use, like, maybe you can build up the rewind or something like that. Or, like, even like a slowdown time thing when things are getting really hairy, to introduce slowdown to the game and, like, intentionally create like a tool or a button press or something that you can do that can slow down time. And you can kind of feel like this really amazing guy who can do all this crazy stuff. You still move the same speed. Everything else is in slow motion. Stuff like that, I think, would be really interesting to add to it. Have you ever played Time Force Ultra or whatever? It's basically that. A lot of cool stuff there to check out. I'll check it out. Time Force Ultra. I like that. I know that that's instantly. Not Super Time Force Ultra. Is that what you're talking about? Is this it? Partial nudity. Papa, what assets do you need for the game? Oh, man. I need like a ring, like a circle ring thing. Mini. Yeah, I mean, if you throw a rewind mechanic in it, you can do it in a way where it makes the game easier for other people. But if you're a purist and you're trying to do best run, then maybe it puts a little asterisk in that run. And it's like, well, it was this time, but they use rewind. You play on the top of the previous one. Oh, interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, I can tell this is old. 2014, because this trailer wouldn't work nowadays. Interesting.
Dice. You put, say, 10 to 30% of your resources towards a wild bet because there is no capped upside. You only need one of those bets to pay off, so it is worth the risk, so long as you have enough safe bets to cover for the moonshots that don't work. When I talk about resource allocation, I want to stress it is open to interpretation. For some people, that might be you spend 70% of your day working on a safe bet, which is working on a contract or working a full-time job. And then you spend your evenings at 30% on crazy risks. Our plan, speaking personally, has a longer time horizon. Our market research business and our contract work is how we're saving up to fund 6 to 12 month stints working on a moonshot before, well, having to run back to our contracts because we've run out of money. The point is, you have to have that long-term mindset of how do we survive long enough to increase our odds to fall in that upside. Survive! When it comes to direct strategies around building a game idea, there's a lot of widely used methods, and I'm not going to labour these because there's prominent figures in the industry that have explained them much better than I ever could. But it's worth drawing attention to how they connect to the mechanisms that drive power law.
Okay, you're too interesting. I gotta force myself to lurk and work. Still here though. I totally understand. You keep at it, man. Yeah, I'm excited to see you guys for PAX. So, I mean, everything's going swimmingly towards that. Everything we're lining up. It's all gonna happen. So, yeah. I was telling Greg, You got to get to work. You got to get to work. Some other time. Path.
Outcomes. Managing scope. Smaller, manageable projects compound your skills faster and lower financial risk. Validating niches. Specializing allows you to capitalize on scalability. If you build for a highly specific audience, you build on that cumulative advantage. And maximizing algorithms. Solid market research drives network effects that can spiral into virality. This isn't just theory, we can look at real developers who've played the long game and used very precise strategies. Take Sockpop, a Dutch self-described video game boy band where each dev ships small games under a shared brand and a Patreon, spreading the risk across the group. They have dozens of releases and then they had a massive hit like Stacklands. Gagonf built Taroom as a hobby alongside his day job. When it had modest success, he didn't immediately scale up. He lived frugally, he reinvested carefully, and he turned that into a sustainable full-time career that led to Shell Diver.
Yeah,
Then
I'm
there's
afraid of
Whitney
wanting to
James
make
and Andy
different
from
genres of
Arenas.
games on the same
Both
developer.
ran
I wouldn't be. Why would that be bad, do you think? I think you would be having to double your efforts to get another audience to follow you with multiple like dev profiles on Steam, for instance. So TRES, we're in meshes. I had this conversation with somebody and it stuck in my ear. I hadn't originally thought so. Huh. Yeah, yeah, I'd be curious about that. Okay, so we just saved a test mesh, and there it is. So let's try and bring this into the game. The thing that we're missing, though, is a collision element to it, right? So if I drag this in, there it is. There's our tunnel, boys. So, what are we missing? The collision space. So I got a little bit more work to do here. Give me a second. CSG, so we're baking a static mesh. Bake collision shape. So we get a concave polygonal shape, and then we put that onto the array mesh. Now the array mesh comes in, when I drag it in here, it actually comes in as a mesh instance 3D. So we would need to instantiate a mesh instance 3D, put that in onto a scene, then as a child add the, so we still need, it still needs a static, okay, so the mesh goes inside of a static body. The static body has a concave collision shape, and then we add the array mesh to that. And that's what we save. So we're basically there. So when we go to save mesh, we're going to bake the array mesh, and we're going to bake the collisions. Concave polygonal shape 3D. So collisions equals bake collision shape. So we have the two things here. So then when we select the file, I'll construct everything really quick. So var static body 3D. Okay. Static body 3D. Then we add child array mesh. And we add child collisions. Says it should be a node. So then we need, that's a collision shape, Anna. So we would need to create var mesh instance 3D. Then we say mesh instance 3D mesh equals array mesh. Okay, then we add that, the mesh instance. Okay, then we create a var collision. So this is collision shape. So we have a collision shape, and then we need to make a collision. So how does this work? If we do new scene, other node, static body, it needs collision shape 3D. Concave polygon shape 3D. Physical materials override. Collision shape. So we have collision shape 3D and then just shape. So we'll just call this a shape. And then this is collision. And that's collision shape 3D. And then we say collision shape dot shape equals underscore shape. And then we add collision shape. And then instead of saving array mesh, we're going to save the static body 3D. Arguments for save. So we need to pack this into a scene. Good googly moogly. So now, how do you pack a scene? Var packed scene. So we make a new packed scene, and then there's got to be a function to take something and make it so. Make it so. Number 2. Packed. Number 1. Tea. Earl Grey hot. Let's see. Go there. What is this chart in the upper right? Oh. Sorry. Let me rewind.
When it had modest success, he didn't immediately scale up. He lived frugally, he reinvested carefully, and he turned that into a sustainable full-time career that led to Shell Diver. Then there's Bite Me Games and Andy from Aremus. Both ran content and communities for years before they had their breakthrough title. Then we have people like Clockout Games, who learnt from 2 quiet releases, pivoted into co-op, validated their community, and then found success with InSync. These aren't just lucky outliers.
It's just called Pack.
I could only show a few, but there are many of them out there. People who apply a long-term strategy to game development and eventually
Something's wrong. I'll be right back.
Upside, because the longer they stay in the game, the longer they increase their chances of success. But success, right? That's a loaded term. It means something very different to each one of us. And for that reason, I want to end on something that isn't a statistic. There's a concept called the McNaram fallacy, also known as the quantitative fallacy. It was named after Robert McNaram. I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, but he was the US Secretary of Defense during the Vietnam War. The US military became obsessed with one metric, that was enemy casualties. They used that as their main measure for winning. The numbers, they looked really good. The data said that they were ahead, but the reality on the ground is they weren't winning at all. Because The things that actually mattered, morale, local support, the reality on the ground for their soldiers, they were completely different to what the numbers were saying. And the moral of the story there is, just because things are hard to measure doesn't mean they should be ignored. In game dev, we lean on hard numbers, we lean on sales as our metric of success because it's easy to measure. But how do you measure the joy that players are getting from the game that you put out there? How do you measure the value of the community that forms around a game, no matter how big or small it is?
Okay, well, we have the
message
static
that maybe
body.
you get from a player or a positive review saying that it cheered them up after a rough week. Those things, they're very much real.
Then we don't have anything else.
And I think across all of my research and across all of these game developers that I looked at while I was trying to understand indie game developer
Packs the
survival,
path node and all
the developers
subnodes
who
into
go
this
the
pack scene.
distance, they're the ones who, they all have this one thing in common. They genuinely love what they're doing. I'm not saying they don't work hard, they work very, very hard, but they don't work in a grind yourself into the ground kind of way. They find real meaning in what they're making. That's a kind of stamina that data doesn't capture very well, but I think it's the stamina that really matters, and it's the stamina that drives their success. So yes, we should use the data, we can be strategic, we can think about ways of staying in the game long enough to land in that upside, but we can't let the numbers be the only thing that drives us forward. Now, if you found any of this useful, the data, the frameworks, the developer stories, then you might want to check out Game Oracle. It's the platform we built to make this kind of analysis accessible for every indie developer, not just the ones who are really
So
into
now you're
data.
selling me something. So
You can
is it money?
explore Steam market trends, you can discover underserved niches, you can find where your game fits in the Steam market landscape.
Start for free,
without
pricing.
needing to wrangle an entire database of Steam. The link is in the description. It's free to try.
God bless America. We're gonna lose. How's it going? What color do you want the ring to be? I don't know. Green? Let's make it green. So it shows two children. So why, when we're packing this scene, do we only end up with the root and not the others? Do we have to? Oh, you know what it is? We got to set the owner. I bet. Yeah. Test 1. Owner must be an ancestor in the tree. Huh. Owner must be an ancestor in the tree. Miss Cricket's trying to get a hold of you. Please open local send. All right. Gorgeous Cherry is the path. I'll be right back. I gotta take a break. Quick restroom stop. A pit stop, as it were. All right. It's like a demo scene. Yeah, it's just a screensaver. You just give it a ASCII file. And then oh, okay. As Funk found the typing of the dead redeem. Oh shit. Okay. Here we go. I don't know how long the sessions are in this. Maybe I'll do a stage. I don't know how to I can't like save a state or something like that. So we'll see what this is going to be like. Hopefully it starts. Hopefully I don't have to do anything weird to get it to run, but we'll see. Killing zombies with words? Yep. The world needs more typing games. Did you work on Paradise, Matt? Well, it says it's running. I did for the first, yeah, I left when it slipped another 12 months. Oh, okay. Okay, so it's not running for me. So let's go ahead and try. Oh, wait. So, oh, it crashed. It thinks I ran. Updating executable. Launching. We might have to do some fancy footwork here to get this to work. We tried to build an engine and a game from scratch that was open world in 12 months. Pro tip, don't do that. It doesn't work. Might have overscoped a tiny bit. The game was mostly done tech-wise, but needed another year for art. And at that point, I was over the UK and burnt out, so I went back to Australia. Ah! Okay, so we can't get this sumbitch to run. Let's try compatibility. And we'll just do hotfix. Try again. Austria or Australia? Good point. Fair point. Launching. All right, let's start looking up. Proton DB. They're saying custom proton is cache proton. Proton 7. Okay, let's try Proton 7. The land of spiders, snakes, sharks, and bloodthirsty hamsters. I'm trying to do the whole Australian thing where I say that anytime anyone mentions Ohio, I let them know that's actually a fake state and we made it up and it's not real. And it's just like an imaginary state that we used to confuse just in case we're invaded. They'll always be looking for Ohio. Lived in the U.S. for a while. I was more scared of bears and coyotes and mountain lions and spiders. And mountain lions. Yeah, mountain lions especially. Mountain lions are legit. Like, you want to hike and stuff in California, but it's like, I am increasing the probability of being eaten by a mountain lion right now. And it's like once a year, somebody in your county is killed by a mountain lion. Okay, that didn't work. Let's try my flags that I use for Fantasy Life. Properties. We're Proton 9, and we have some flags here. Wayland, blah, 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 blah. So we'll try that. Typing of the Dead. Is he taking a nap again? He must be going through a growth spurt. Somebody posted a $20 bunk bed. We should just get it. Yeah, and maybe it'll breathe life into it for her and give it another year.
It's metal, but it's blue. Twin size.
Yeah. I don't know how we get it here though.
It's in Toronto.
Can't get this some bitch to work.
It's close by.
Mm.
So we could. They also have a $20 dresser. It's kind of weird. Not very nice. But
It's a bad photo though. It's hard to judge.
yeah, it's got like a bunch of thumbtacks stuck in the front.
Yeah, they have kids. Why friend shape if not friend? All right. They're so cute. Well, it's taking longer. This may be a good sign. Come on. No! Everyone's saying 7. Proton 7. Ooh, Proton 7. A do 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 do. It looks like the max support is 1080, so maybe that's part of our problem. Maybe we have to force the resolution. God bless America. This guy's saying he had luck with okay, so SDL driver. How do we set all right, this guy is saying this worked for him. Launch options, compatibility, we'll do 7. Play. Oh, I heard something. Oh, that was a friend's notifications thing, wasn't it? Adult language. I like the terrible acting. Adult language, but no senior language. I remember Werther's originals. My grandpa used to give me them. Now I'm giving them to you, too. Little Billy. There's some senior language in there, too. Can't wait to get out of high school. Yeah, man, when we get out of high school, everything's going to change. Is it that kind of senior language? Hey, we got it. Oh, we got it. Hang on, let me get chat back. Sega. Hang on. Where did everyone go? I lost you guys. Why is this gone now? The whole right monitor is just dojis. Just doges all over the place. Why are there so many dojis? But I don't see you guys. The hell's going on? It broke my right screen. I can't see chat. Okay, I got Chat Arena opened. Is the stream gone? Did I kill the stream? Do you ever use your phone for chat? Nah. My phone's battery lasts like 30 minutes. I've got like an iPhone 10 or some crap. Did you know Sega saved NVIDIA from bankruptcy, and now NVIDIA is going to bankrupt? Who knows? So it's everyone's saying NVIDIA now. I was always NVIDIA. When did it become NVIDIA?
The typing of the dead. Overkill.
Overkill. Is it loud?
Let's go.
Yeah, all these AI bros are calling it NVIDIA. All right. Do we do multiplayer, Greg? Where are you, Greg? I sure hope they are, Els. I invited a friend. What does that mean? Joining game. Here we go. I suck at typing, guys. Should we do a mini game? We'll do a mini game. Victim support. Save civilians from grisly brain-chopping doom. That may be the worst kind of web-fingered trailer trash, but at least they're not effing mutants. Oh my gosh. Even though I cuss all the time on the stream. Survive as long as you can against ever-increasing rampage of Lord and pus-spewing mutant. Think you're good? Think you're the best? Try your eye in the carnival shooting stall. I guess we'll do victim support. Okay, readied up. Game starts in 3, 2, 1. Game starting. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Get ourselves a snack. Protect civilians in your color. Score bonus points. If they reach the green, something. Okay. What am I? Red. Wait. Oh. Oh God. Nice. Nice. I got it. I'm doing so good.
Hardcore violence.
Oh, scarred. Okay. Overkill. Okay. I don't get the typing right. Okay. Up top. Okay. I can type. Follow.
Psychotic.
Marco. I spelled Marco. Here's good. Oh, where is that? Oh. Oh God. Oh God. Time up. Winner, player 2. Okay. Let's all go. Okay. Let's do staying alive.
Varla Guns, a doting sibling to a crippled brother, forced into a life of vice. Now she's filled with a primal hunger for revenge.
Why don't you come on over, babe?
Intermission. Let's all go to the lobby. Double feature Vive. Get ourselves a stack. Score as many kills as you can before time runs out. Wave 1. Start. Love me. So how does that work? Oh, we have to beat each other. Gotta beat each other off. Okay. Nymphomania. Skullduggery. Hired help. Ladder. Goldfish. Okay. I'd get to type. Wave 3. It is weird that I don't, like, you're stealing your, I guess it's versus, it's not like cooperative. Lucky, okay. Hey, I got one. Byzantine. I can type. Pick me up. Excellent. I did great. Septic. Excellent. I got that one too. Shh. I'm doing so good. How do I get that thing over there? Can I? No? How do I get that thingy? Oh, ambience. Rugged. I can type. I know how to type. We know how to type here in this house. We totally know how to type. We're doing great on the typing. Woof woof. Sushi. Bad. Go. Urban myth. Excellent. I'm doing so good. World. Was fruit. Excellent. Monstrous. Egregious. Very egregious. Insane. Carefree. Paddle ski. Eaten off. No, eggs. Sorry. Wave 6. Start. Alfalfa. French. This. Night. Tyrant. Waits. Ruminate. How do we get the thing over there? How do you get the thing over? Unzip. Justice. Or ginger. Stale. I got it. I got it. Breakfast. Yes. Excellent. Very good, Cricket. You're doing so good. It's going really bad. Riled up. Voodoo. Delectable. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. I was looking at the wrong thing. Wafting. Never. Voodoo. Rose. Bridesmaid. Juvenile. Pendulum. Ace. Extreme violence. Extreme violence. Wave 6. Start. Safe. Got it. Excellent. Now. I can type good. Kung Fu. Bloom. Excellent. Very good. 16 seconds. How do I get the thing over there? Start. Fiddle. Gecko. Okay, I'm typing gecko over there. Fiddle. Apparently we lost. I don't know. That was very anticlimactic. I gotta say. Weird. All right, that's it for now. Let's get back to work. We went until we ran out of life. Yeah, you just expect like a you lose, and they like eat you. And then you see they pick up the keyboard and they start eating the keyboard or something. But none of that happened. It was just like, oh, that's like how it's going to be in the jam game here. Okay. Owner must be an ancestor in the tree. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. We have a collision shape. We're setting all that. Static body. Do we need to pack each thing? So do I do... each element in it like this. And then I pack the collision shape. Maybe that's what we need to do. Oops. Mesh editor, close, reopen, save mesh, tester, save. Now it's doing the collision shape. So the last thing it packs, it's good about. So why then is it not doing the children? Let's look up packed scene again. I can type. I was too mad about you saying all the words out loud. Got to. We're streaming. I thought it would be helpful just to let the other person know what they're targeting. But maybe I'm wrong. Resource saver, save. Pack scene new. We pack. Then we save the scene. They're packing node. Node add child body. Create the object hierarchy. Create the objects. Create the hierarchy. So we add collision. I mean, this is what I'm doing. Node. Body owner node. So interestingly, this won't let us do that. So we create node, but when we say, if I say mesh instance 3D owner equals static body, it got mad at us, right? Let us confirm. So if we go back over here, save mesh. Blah, 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 blah. Hey! Okay, why is it happening now? Okay, well, whatever. I must have been doing it too soon. Maybe it was before we were adding child. Okay, so now save mesh. We'll overwrite that. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. Now we've got our collisions. Oh, terrible. Terrible. Can we just hide the mesh? Okay, we'll take it. It looks okay. Okay. So now we've got a collision. And we're not going to save that, but we're going to go over here. I suppose what we could do we're saving this whole thing. What if we want to come back and change it? So maybe what we need to do is we have a mesh editor where we save this whole layout, right? And then we save the scene. But for now, we're not going to care too much about that. Okay, so now if we go over to game, and we drag in this weird thing that we've made, bloop. Now we can have us fly into this little hole. So what we'll do is we'll change our loop-de-loo. And let's delete the points. We're going to delete all these points. And then we're going to add, let's double check our rotation stuff. We're fine. So then our ship is going to go, we're going to go right view. And we can barely see anything when we do this. Can we turn off world environment? Can I just get rid of you for a second? Can I disable you? Let's get rid of fog. Here we go. Okay. So we're going to add the points here. So we're going to go up, up and away in our beautiful balloon. Up, up and away in our beautiful balloon. So now we need some sort of light source inside here because it's dark. So if I just, what? Add a light. I don't know. World. Add child node. Lights. Area lights. We want to do... I guess we just do an omni light. Where are you, my friend? Way down here. You know what? Let's put it inside the scene. Since we've got the scene already. Let's just plop this in here. Not the ship, the light. Add child node. Oops. Omni light. Hey, it's like it knew. It knew what I needed. Now we don't have an environment, so we can't actually see the light. But if we go back to game, we have a light here, but it's not doing anything. Omni, range, attenuation, energon. Energon levels low. Why do we have no environments? World environments. Now we have an environment. We have an omni light that's not doing anything. Do we not have a surface that can be lit? Is that part of our problem? Is there something weird about our mesh that makes it so that... But we do see shadows. There's a warning on world environment. Ah, we have to have an environment. There we go. Omni light. On, off, on, off. Let's make the range 10. There we go. On, off, on, off. Okay, so now we have something. Now we have something. 20. Do, do, in my beautiful balloon. Game. So now we got a light in there. And then we're going to go down. So we go back to our rail. And this is all, we're just kind of mocking stuff up real quick here, bros. So a new point over here. Okay, so now we don't have anything smoothed out. But if we run it, up. Hi, guys. And then we're going to go up. Maybe. Oh! We're not smooth at all. Oh! Oh, Lord, there's poop everywhere. And then we go into the tunnel. Now we can hit the sides. Okay, that's good. And then we want the camera to go down. Okay. All right, we have something that we can make into something else. So obviously this isn't natural. It's not exactly how we want any of this to happen. But we have something that we could do where we make it happen. This is beautiful because even my adjustments to this show up proper. All right, let's just see if this is smoother. Yep, so now we're going up. Oh, guys are coming at us. Oh, we're going in. Whoa, we go in. And then we're going down. Or we just hit the thing. That's good. So let's try going down. I don't know how I'm going to manage this because I can't see inside of it. Why am I orthogonal? Making things weird for me. Rail. All of the numbers are wrong here. BT dubs. Like I'd have to come in here and kind of hand tune this. See, it's touching the wall now because this is actually a new Godot feature that I'm running into that I don't like. And now it's snapping to that one. Oh God, I don't like this with Path 3D. See, it's doing it again. Ah, this is terrible. It keeps snapping to, how am I supposed to move this if it's going to glue itself to the side of everything? Is there like a thing that I do? Snap colliders. I don't know if that's... I guess I could move it like that. Okay, let's try it now. Oh, you know what we need to do is turn on fog. Just bring back that look. Okay. Okay, so we got that. Shoot those bad guys if you could. Keep going. Shooting stuff. Okay, we're shooting. Die. Yeah, I forgot. Sorry. Yeah, I'll take care of it. And then we're going down. Okay. Okay. Crash into the ground. Perfect. Exactly what we want. Yep, hit the wall. Perfect. And then we go flying up. All right, I'll be right back. I forgot I was making lunch for myself because I'm just an incompetent dude. So I think wireframing everything in the game start with cyber. Yes. I think when I'm doing the design of the coursing and everything, I need to wireframe the stage so that I see an outline of it and I'm still able to work on it. So like if I go here and I choose to display wireframe, then I can kind of work on it in a way where I'm seeing it more from the, like I can see everything, right? So I can see through something and be able to get an idea of like where everything is happening and whatnot. So I think we might need to have the wireframe view quite often when we're doing specific things. Overdraw kind of works too if I'm inside. I think my daughter's running a game right now. Like I think she's running a campaign or something. I hear her, she's doing some FaceTime thing with her friends. But it really sounds like she's doing something like D&D. Well, here's the deal. Miss Cricket, are you listening? I don't think she's listening. Guys, I do think that, so I think I'm going to end the stream today. We've had a death in the family, and as much as my wife wants me to continue working, I'd rather not and be there. So so I think I'm going to end the stream. And yeah, she's going to get mad at me. But I don't care. So let's go ahead and find somebody to raid out to. It just doesn't feel right, guys. Let's see who can raid. Why are you showing me channels I would like instead of the ones I'm following? Do I always have to find something new? Bungalow. We'll raid Bungalow. My wife's going to be so mad at me. Shh. Shh. Maybe I can just pretend like I'm streaming in here while I'm talking to her all the time. All right, we're going to raid Bungalow. Much love to everybody out there. I appreciate you guys understanding me having to leave early today. I'll try to do my best tomorrow. And we've basically got from today, we've got about 7 days remaining. So this week, I've just got to double down on doing the stage, and that's all I should be working on. Okay. So that's all we're going to be working on. We got to get our enemies fleshed out. We got to get power-ups and collectibles and all kinds of stuff. And I'm worried that a lot of this is going to be really dull for the jam. It's not going to be a very good version of what I'm imagining, but we're going to get all the systems in place at least and get a game in so people have something to play for the jam. So that's what we'll be doing. Thank you very much. Love you, sweetie. All right. Okay. So I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.